What's up guys, Houndish here, and today it's time for the weekly reset for the 12th of March 2024. And so of course this week we're going into the second week for Guardian Games, so of course hunters will be uniting and amassing, considering a lot of the rewards are easier to obtain if you're playing on a hunter. We'll have to see if anything changes this week, I don't anticipate it, but we do have the Eververse refresh for the event, so we'll see what rewards we pick up this week. We've also got a new patch for the game, so we'll cover the patch notes if we get them. And otherwise we'll break down rewards for the week, featured items in the raids, Nightfall, as well as various bonuses that are active. And we'll do our normal job at the weekly reset of rounding up vendors and things like that as well. So as always guys, I hope the video today is useful, and if it is, a rating below very much helps us out, but without further delay, let's get into it. And initially we do have the reset for Guardian Games, so if you're working on triumphs, picking up weapons, the skimmer, any of the rewards really, then we can continue to do that this week. If I'm not mistaken, the community scores will actually reset, so maybe worth checking if your percentage has changed and going after the top 10% again if you want to do that. Otherwise though, the event continues as it has up until now, and we'll cover the Eververse store momentarily. Next up though, before we talk about more gameplay stuff, for the update today, which of course did mean extended downtime if you were waiting to jump on at reset, we've got patch 7351, and for activities, they fixed an issue in Crucible where glaives were only receiving one round from the special ammo meter, and another issue where the Guardian Games supremacy in private matches were not using the Crucible sandbox updates that were meant to drop last week. So good to have those, and for gameplay and investment, they fixed an issue where the Aurora Sacrifice armor ornament would cause surrounding environments to glow red when in third person view. And in general, they fixed a problem where skimmers could jump up the side of walls. I didn't know that was a thing, kinda wish I did now. Also, they fixed an issue that would cause the game client to crash when performing tricks on skimmers, and another where claiming the Alliance Requisitions bundle from Seasons tab was not showing the correct post-purchase animation. They also fixed the problem where the player's platform name would appear under player details rather than the Bungie name, and an exploit that could cause crashes for other players in the area. So mainly a bunch of fixes right there, a couple of useful ones for Crucible, and of course, skimmers not crashing games is always a positive as well, so give us any thoughts you have on those patch notes down below. Now though, we can finally get onto the Eververse store. That was a long bit of downtime, but of course, we do get the weekly free Bright Dust, so be sure to grab that one when you visit Eververse. On to Bright Dust items though, and let's focus on the front page initially. We've got the Perfect Swing exotic emo, which is available for 3,250 Bright Dust this week. Pretty cool one to add to collections, actually from the Revelry event back in the day, I do believe, looking at it right there. On top of that though, we've got the Frontrunner exotic ship, which is available for 2,000 Bright Dust, so I'll have a quick preview of that one, of course a Guardian Games item. And then there is the Cherry Blossom entrance transmat effect available this week as well. This is 450 Bright Dust, but for 300 Bright Dust, we got the featured shaders on the front page. Initially, there is Verdant Chrome available this week, another Revelry one right there, and also Rivalry Black Sand, which is a pretty cool one from Guardian Games. So that's the front page, but moving over to the main Bright Dust section, initially there is the Toy Hula Hoop legendary emote available this week, which is 700 Bright Dust, actually a kind of cool one right there with some RGB stuff going on. Additionally though, there is the Out of Breath rare emote, which is available for 400 Bright Dust, so I'll have a quick preview of that one as well. But moving on, there is the Padded Armor Shell available. This is a Guardian Games item as well. This one's 2,850 Bright Dust, a rather curious looking thing. Then there is the Stygian Corsair, another Guardian Games item available, and this one is 2,000 Bright Dust. Pretty plain looking ship right there, looks like it's been spray painted, almost. But there is the richly caparisoned, if I'm saying that one correctly, which is 2,500 Bright Dust. This one is certainly new for this year, I do believe. And there's also the ornament for Vex Mythoclast, the class of its own. This has come up many times in previous events, but it's 1,250 Bright Dust, so maybe one to add to collections. But also on the second page here, we've got the Gold Medal Projection, Ghost Projection. As always, pretty expensive at 1,500 Bright Dust. But for the main Bright Dust section, we've got Verdant Chrome featured once again. There's also Verdant Crown, another variation of the old Revelry shader. And then we've got the Chitin Slate available here, which is 300 Dust as always. Looks interesting on that armor. But finally, there's the Up for Grabs shader available in the store as well. Then we've got the Cherry Blossom entrance once again, as well as the Reflection Effects transmat effect right there. Once again, these are all 450 Bright Dust. And finally, there is the AICOM Rasputin reboot available this week as well, if you fancy some Warmind themes. So give us your thoughts on the Eververse inventory there, guys, now that we've finally got to it. And yeah, let us know if you plan to pick anything up. Random side note, now that we're actually in the game, yes, the community rank does reset on a weekly basis, so if you still want to try and get that top 10%, certainly it's going to be far easier to do it earlier on in the week as opposed to later in the week, so maybe something to think about on that front. And next up, after a very, very long journey to the tower right here, which by the looks of it, there were a whole bunch of us heading over, of course, you can visit Evil Levante for all of the Guardian Games action, but let's take a look at Banshee's inventory featured for the moment. So in terms of weapons right here, firstly, we've got the Whispering Slab, which has got Archer's Tempo and Opening Shot. There's also the Iota Draconis Fusion Rifle with Lead from Gold and Frenzy, and then the True Prophecy Hand Cannon, which has got Grave Robber and Timed Payload. Also the Legal Action 2 Pulse Rifle with Heating Up and Frenzy, and finally the Palmyra B, which has got Ensemble and Explosive Light. So keep in mind the weapons and rolls will change throughout the course of the week, but let us know if anything takes your fancy. And as always for vendors, let's conclude with a visit to Shader 1 down here in the annex. For the armor, right here, we've got the Insight Unyielding Gauntlet. This used to be PlayStation exclusive from the Inside Terminus Strike, I believe, so maybe something to add to collections. But for the shaders this week, for 10,000 Glimmer, we've got the Baguzian Knight available initially, a very bright one from back in the Black Armory era. There's also the Kairos Black from Curse of Osiris right here. And finally, we've additionally got the new Monarchy Regalia, if you're looking to add any older faction shaders to collections. So give us your thoughts on those this week. For some other rewards which are featured this week though, for the Nightfall, we do get Lake of Shadows and we're going to see bonus loot as well as ranks all week long, so farming Nightfalls this week will be pretty rewarding. As far as I know, the Undercurrent will be the featured Nightfall weapon, although the rotation has been messed up a little bit with the introduction of a couple of new things, but it's going to be a pretty good time to jump in. And otherwise, Operation Seraph Shield is the featured exotic mission, so if you want to pick up any of the Season of the Seraph weapons or armor, or indeed Revision 0, then all of that is available this week inside of the Legacy tab. Otherwise though, for the featured raid and dungeon, we've got Garden of Salvation featured, so if you're looking to farm any of the items there, it's a good time to jump in. And also for Spire of the Watcher, we can pick up the Hierarchy of Needs exotic bow. And again, all of those items are farmable for the duration of the week. Very finally though, we do have the featured Lost Sectors for the week, and for today, we've got Thrillerdrome on Neomuna dropping exotic helmets. Then for March 13th, it'll be Gilded Precept dropping exotic legs. March 14th, we'll move over to the EDZ with Scavenger's Den dropping exotic arms. And we'll see Skydock on the 15th dropping exotic chess pieces. That's followed by the Quarry dropping helmets on March 16th, and then we get Dreaming City Lost Sectors. So for March 17th, it's Aphelion's Rest dropping exotic legs, and for the 18th, it'll be Bay of Drowned Wishes dropping exotic arms. For today though guys, that's what we have to round up for the weekly reset though, so as always, I hope the video has been useful, and if it has, a rating below really helps us out on the channel. Also get subscribed so I can keep you posted with more Destiny content, and let us know if you'll be diving back in with the reset this week. Otherwise though, I appreciate you tuning in as always, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.